I don't know, you're gonna think I'm stoned or something like that. Trying to do it this way. I'm probably gonna have to pause it in order to do this. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm zoomed up ×6. It's the type of scope that I have. You see the light, right? See the actual light itself of the lighthouse. I put my crosshairs right on top of it. The scale that we have here, you can't really see it. I can barely see it, but there are hash marks over here, and they are they're one hash mark is 2 degrees of arc. So I am gonna move it over here, and you know I can't even see him anymore. You can imagine during the day it's a lot easier to do. But this is about, okay, you want to put it right on the base. And the hash mark, I know you can't see it, but it's about right here. It looks to be about a quarter, maybe a little less of 1 degree. I'm going to say it's a little less, maybe instead of 0.25, maybe it's 0.2. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because we're going to use some trigonometry now. So you imagine that you're at the lighthouse and you're looking out. You're in the light, you know, the light part of it, and that arc is shining out toward, you know, that cone of light is shining out towards us. So we're basically going to draw a triangle, and I'm doing this myself just to make sure that, you know, I don't lose track of what I'm doing. So we're going to draw like you would draw a cone of light, you know, coming out of the lighthouse. That's basically what you're going to do. You're going to draw like a cone, except you're going to connect the ends of each cone so you make a triangle. Okay, and you want the bottom line, you want that to be at a 90-degree angle. Now, that as far as the math goes, this doesn't really matter. Okay? But if you're drawing it to keep yourself, you know, if you're doing it, if you want to do it correctly, you need to draw a right triangle. So imagine that the ocean, you know, the ocean's basically a flat surface, right? So, and it's perpendicular to your submarine, right? And we are submerged. Well, we're not. Let me get submerged, and actually it'll stabilize us a little bit. But I forgot to mention that you do need to be just have your scope sticking up. You don't want to be floating all the way up on top. So I should have said that in the beginning. You're going to see why in a second. I know, you're like, Valkyrie, why? What? what, why are you doing these complicated things? I'm trying to show you that because the game itself is so tight and precise in the way that it's designed, you can do this. It doesn't matter. Real world environment, fantasy environment, doesn't matter. You can use math. And so trying to get them to get down there. We're not moving. I don't want to move. So if I'm moving a little bit, we'll submerge faster. But I'm just telling them to blow some more air out. Trying to get down there. And we just want our scope sticking up. Now look up here where my pointer is. Now you notice how the scope, tells you how high the scope is. At snorkel depth, there's nothing but the scope sticking up. So the scope is basically the other line of your triangle. And notice that we stabilize quite a bit too. Now that we're underwater, that's actually natural. That's good. So this was the guy, I think, right? Doesn't really matter. I want to find the distance to this guy, and I'm bringing him over here. I know you can't see these hash marks. They're dark, and I can barely see them myself, but I've done this enough times, I know. And I'm pretty sure it's less than a quarter of an arc. Could be wrong. All right, so on the side of your telescope where your cone or your triangle, where it originates, you're going to draw a symbol for an angle, and you're going to let's use 0.20 degrees, okay? And then the height of this triangle, which is on the other end, which is that's going to be your scope as it sticks above the ocean. So point up here and look and see, and it'll pop up. You see the 251? That's 2.51 meters. Okay, so it's sticking up about 2.51 meters, or it's about 7 feet, 7 or 8 feet, if you're a feet guy. Now what do? Or you're going to use tangent. You're going to take the tangent of 0.20 degrees. And you want to set that equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. So the opposite side is your scope height, and the adjacent side is the distance. Okay? So we know that the opposite side is 2.51 meters, right? And then you can put that over x. We'll use x for the adjacent side. You're like, oh God, algebra. Well, yeah, algebra and trigonometry. It's not that hard because we have such things as calculators. So, and if you ever wondered, like when you were in math classes, would I ever use this math and stuff like that? I bet you never guessed you would use it in a game. But you actually use this if you're a sailor out there, and you're trying to find your way, and your electronic equipment, your fancy gadgets are not working. All right, this is really easy. 0.2 or 0.20, just a placeholder. Take the tangent of that. And it's that big long decimal there. You see it 0.0034906, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So you can just plug that into your equation. You don't need to have all those decimal points, but I would go out to 5 decimal places. So 0.00349. Let's try that. And that equals 2.51 over x. So you remember your algebra, right? How do you find out what x is? Well, you got the 2.51 there, so you got to divide the 0.00349. You got to divide that by 2.51. So let's do that. So we have it up here already. Well, I'm just going to use the whole, all those decimals there. Divide that by 2.51. And you get that. That's not your x, because you got to divide both sides, right? So when you divide both sides, you're basically multiplying the 2.51 over x times 1 over 2.51, and that gets rid of your 2.51s. But now you have a 1 over x, so you have the reciprocal of x. So the number that you're looking at on the screen is the reciprocal of x. What's that mean for those of you that aren't math folks? That's like the upside down version of the value you want. So what you do is you invert it. Just take the reciprocal of it, and there you go. And I think that this is actually going to show me that I made some kind of error in my triangulation method, because this is pretty accurate for the distance. Now, of course, I've got that tiny light that I was using, and I estimated on its arc size. That was an estimate. So if you get way off, you know that, okay, you got to just try again until you find something that kind of is consistent with your triangulation. So they kind of start to to merge. All right, so that's 719 meters is what that says. Wait a minute, we're 719 meters away? No, we're not. So I want you to see something. You see over here, with this particular scope, at the zoom that I have is times 6. See that? So how do you deal with that? If it's like a times 6 zoom, well, you just take the 719 meters and you multiply that by 6. So your distance is 3,000 or 4,314 meters, or 4.3 kilometers. That's basically going to tell us that we're making some kind of that something isn't right in the calculation. Either the arc is not 0.20, maybe it's a little larger, but go to our map, see what that looks like. Alright, so the distance that I use here for this guy, reason it is not cooperating again. It does this. The game is very glitchy. This is kind of an off-the-shelf, I guess, version of Wolves of Steel. It's got a lot of glitches in it. All right, so we said it's we are from this guy here. We're 4.314 kilometers. Oh shit! Look at that. I was not expecting that. I thought that. Are we in the triangle? We are. Yeah, we are. So we want to line up with the other X. See the other X. I am actually pleasantly surprised. I did not. There. Wow, that puts us. Remember, I said that we were like somewhere in here, in this triangle. It was made. All right, and look at that. That's what our distance was, and that was estimated. I was estimating the arc size of the lighthouse light, the light itself, and this is where we came up with right here. Now this is pretty good. This is and I mean, for starters, as I said, you want to put yourself somewhere in the middle of this triangle. And actually, if I continue this line, maybe I wasn't zoomed in enough. I wasn't as accurate, when I did when I measured the bearings, and our height changes. It shifts it shifts in this direction. And so you would start off here, but your actual distance from this guy, and you can do this with just measuring one lighthouse, just like we did. You don't need to triangulate. But the method that I showed you where you're using just the light that's not easy to do. I mean, it's hard to estimate, but I've done it enough that I know, what the arc sizes are, and what the little hash, size to the hash marks are, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty confident that that's an accurate measure. But if you don't want to do that, then you have to use the triangulating method. And the more bearings you have, the more landmarks. You don't have to use lighthouses. You can use other landmarks too, that are, as long as they're on your map. And the more that you get, it's gonna start to close in on where you actually are, and that's why I was saying that a good rule of thumb, if just using you need to use at least 3, is to use the center of your triangle. So let's see what our plus or minus is here. Holy shit. Our plus or minus is 150 meters, guys. That's pretty damn good. You want to know how long your submarine is? Let's check that out. Let's see how long your sub is. Handy little book here. Look at that, it's got floating docks and stuff. Some various things. I am in a, I think it's a 7, Charlie. Not, you really need to know for sure. But see how it gives you these different ones. Maybe you can scroll through. It's not 7 alpha. You know what? No, I think it. No. You know what? I forgot. Since I started a new campaign, it would be the 7 alpha. It'd be this one. You know, we have the flat gun on right behind the sail. This is called the sail, and we have the deck gun. Its length is roughly 65 meters. And we are plus or minus, if we use the center here, 150 plus or minus 150 meters. So that means 150 minus 65. That's 85 plus or minus 85 meters either side of your sub. That is way accurate enough to be able to accurately deliver torpedoes from a significant distance. I mean, for miles or kilometers. The ideal distance, by the way, is about 700 meters. That's the ideal distance to shoot an enemy ship. As far as where your plot, if your plot and how accurate that it is, it doesn't need to be nearly as accurate as we just did here to be able to hit a ship that's 700 meters away. And as far as your plots, your plot goes to, your plot becomes irrelevant almost at that distance, because you're just looking at the world is kind of tunneled in, and you just got tunnel vision. It's just you and that ship, and all you care about is how far the ship is from you, how fast it's going, what its angle on the bow is, and that's pretty much it. You don't need to know where you are on a map in order to know that information, but you do need to know where you are on the map to be able to find the ship in the first place. Unless you're just going to rely on random encounters, and you're not going to enjoy the game if you do that, and you're not going to enjoy it nearly as much, because you can just be running around all day long and not find anything, and not be able to catch anything. Okay? So I'm quite happy with this area being our mark, and I don't know why it's not letting me mark it. Oh, it just did let me do it. Okay. All right. Well, that wasn't very close, but it had me zoom out. So I think I should be able to move it though. Yep. That's my mark. That is my distance. That's my location. These are my stoned navigators' locations. Now you see my point? Now let's see if he changes his tone, if he changes his attitude and works a little harder now that the captain has kind of put him to shame and has plotted exactly where we are. Let's let him do it again. We can't do celestial because we're in periscope mode. He's going to do some dead reckoning. Let's see if he puts it near mine. Yep, see? He's like, oh yeah, it's up here. But watch. I'm going to do it, I'm going to have him do it again. And he's doing it again. And I've seen him the last time I was playing this game, in the saved game, it's automatically saving right now. When he did it the second time, it was a totally different spot. So I don't know what his deal is. Is it just that he's not trained well? That's I guess, but I don't know if they've I can't tell you for sure if they've included the ability to train your crew or not. How you use promo points, or not promo points, but prestige points or whatever, and you can increase your guy's skills, and he'll probably be more accurate. But you see how he he did another dead reckoning, and we haven't moved anywhere, and he's this far away from the one he just did. He's 500 meters away. He's half a kilometer. He sucks. He sucks. All right. I bet you I'm not gonna have him do it again, but I bet you if I did, it'd be like down here somewhere, some shit like that. So that, as the game comes, that's a problem. Now I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here to the developers, because I've been a member of Subsim for a while, and I don't participate much, but I read their stuff, and I've noticed that these guys really know what the heck they're doing. I mean, they really know what they're doing, and I think that it's a training issue. I'm just starting out. The war's just started, and I have no prestige points yet. So maybe that's it. But I tell you, it's like these guys haven't been trained at all. Anyway, so there you go. All right. I know that took a while, but these are techniques that I'm sure most people they're not aware of, or they unless they're really nautical, they're ex-Navy guys and they were navigators or something like that. They're probably it's not a common thing, but like I said, because the game is made so tight, meaning good, it's tight, it's accurate, the scales of things are consistent. It is the type of environment that lends itself well to using mathematics to do what we just did here. Okay. That's it for the video. if you like it, please like it. If you want to see more, subscribe, and that'll tell you when my next videos are ready. I'm obviously I'm not trying to make you know make money on this stuff, but I just enjoy doing it. But it's nice to get subscribers, because when I see I have more subscribers, that motivates me to do better and to do more videos. Now the next one is going to be about tactics, and we're going to see how well this old girl, this old submarine here shoots. Okay. I'm going to just find some ship targets. I'll start the video with the target in mind, and and we'll see how well we can sink ships. All right, because I know that's changed too in this mod. Okay, I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.